Hello, come in. This is a story about music, memory, and a boy who refused to be erased. In a worn-down Romani settlement on the edge of Serbia, where rusted roofs glint beneath smoke and sky, lived a boy named Luka who barely spoke, but felt everything. Luka was 10 when he first heard a tamburitza. Its wooden body echoed through the walls of an old tavern, its melody soft as morning, sharp as history. The music entered him like a memory he never lived. He returned every day to that crumbling wall just to listen, until one day, the sound was gone. In its place, silence, and a longing that clung to his ribs. Luka didn't understand it yet, but the tamburitza had awakened something sacred. Luka's father swept city streets at night. His mother sorted plastics at the landfill. Their days were heavy, but their nights were full of songs, stories, and the language of resilience. "We are a people of rhythm and fire," his grandmother often said. "Even when the world turns its back, we dance forward." School was another world. Luka sat in the back, always quiet. Some teachers ignored him. Some mispronounced his name on purpose. Most didn't expect him to stay. They didn't know he had a secret, words scribbled in margins, melodies dreamed beneath blankets, and a mind that remembered everything. One cold afternoon, Luka found a broken tamburitza in a dumpster behind the market. Its neck was cracked. Its strings hung like torn thread. But to him, it was treasure. He carried it home like a holy object, spent days repairing it with fishing line, old nails, and wood glue. And each night, he taught himself to play. The strings bit into his fingers. But Luka played until they bled, until the sounds began to resemble the songs of his childhood, and the silence of his present cracked open. His grandmother cried the first time she heard him. "Your great-grandfather played like this," she said. "He sang through pogroms, prisons, and war." Luka began writing, not just music, but essays, stories, poems, about Roma ancestors, forgotten revolutions, the Tamburitza's place in Balkan resistance. When a teacher announced a national writing competition, Luka stayed after class and quietly slipped his story into the submission box. Weeks passed, then came a letter. His story, Tamburitza Dreams, had been chosen. He was invited to read in Belgrade. Luka didn't tell anyone, not yet. He practiced each night, both his reading and his music. Not for perfection, but for power, for truth, for the faces who never got to speak. In Belgrade, he stood on stage beside suited teens from elite schools. His shirt was too big, his shoes borrowed, his tamburitza still glued at the neck. They looked at him like a curiosity until he played. The hall fell silent. Luka's song wasn't clean or polished. It was raw, cracked open with emotion, trembling with pride. And when he read his story about a Roma boy who found dignity through music, the crowd rose. Not because he was a novelty, but because they felt seen. That night, he met a historian who asked to archive his words. A folk musician offered him lessons, but more importantly, he went home no longer invisible. His parents, who had never stepped foot in a theater, hung his printed story on their kitchen wall. His little sister began plucking the tamburitza when she thought no one watched. Luka knew his path wouldn't be easy. Discrimination wouldn't vanish. But now, he carried something louder than prejudice. Memory, legacy. Every week, he gathered Roma kids after school and taught them music and writing. "We're not just survivors," he'd say. "We're storytellers." And so this story ends not with applause, but with echo, of a tamburitza strummed under stars, and a boy who rewrote his place in the world, note by trembling note.